Donald Trump always had a nasty habit of leaking to the New York Post information so he could get free press. He used to use Cindy Adams, the gossip columnist. Now it looks like he may be using Miranda Devine, who has a podcast devoted to the Trump presidency. She does her reporting or her editorial work for the New York Post, owned by Rupert Murdoch. Donald Trump has appeared there. He's given permission for many in his administration to appear there. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, front page New York Post today, Miranda Devine gets her hands on a 115-page insider leak of a scathing report against Kash Patel as FBI director and Dan Bongino, his number two for that matter, that just lands on her desk a day or so before it goes to the House, the Senate Judiciary Committee, created by 29 insiders and people external to the FBI taking down Kash Patel. There's no other way to read the 115 pages than this is a call to fire Kash Patel. At the same time, Donald Trump's looking around like, I have no plans to fire Kash Patel. I haven't really thought about it. We got a clip about, in fact, let's play that clip. I haven't really thought about it. Who again? Let's play the clip.
Are you planning to replace Kash Patel as
No, he's doing a good job. Kash Patel? No, he's doing a great job, I think.
If I were Kash Patel, as I said when I first saw that clip, he should be packing his bags now. He's already got a tremendous amount of bad publicity for good reason. Not only his failure, utter and complete catastrophe of testimony in September before the House and Senate Judiciary Committee, but also the new reporting that comes out that he's flying around on his PJ, his private jet that you and I own as taxpayers, his Gulf 5 or Gulf 4 or whatever it is, in order to woo and romance his 20-year-old or so girlfriend. It's like a Bill Belichick moment. Getting her a SWAT team to cover her while she sings the national anthem, and he goes out on dates. And then this report, this scathing blast comes out, and it says that Kash Patel threw a hissy fit on his private jet because he wouldn't come out during the Charlie Kirk investigation the day after the murder unless somebody went and found him a medium-sized FBI raid jacket with all the right patches on it. And the report goes on from there. Now, my theory, having grown up in New York, is that Donald Trump and people in his administration are using the New York Post again in order to give Donald Trump political cover to fire Kash Patel. There's no other way around it. I'm glad you're here on MeidasTouch and on Legal AF. Cindy Adams used to, and others reported that Donald Trump used to impersonate his own spokesperson. They knew him by his voice, and he'd be phoning in information in order. Oh, Donald Trump was found over here at this bar. He was with this woman. He made this investment in order to get free press. He's doing it all over again. Now, if you want to know first who Miranda Devine is, here's a clip of her doing softball interview with Donald Trump just 5 months ago. Let's play the clip.
Hello, everybody.
Mr. President, thank you so much for doing this.
Now that brings us to Kash Patel. It's been no secret Kash Patel's been on thin ice for quite some time, even before the leaks about his girlfriend, the private jet, and the SWAT team came out. The knives are out for Kash Patel. Dan Bongino, too. Dan Bongino, the number two, the deputy director. What were his qualifications? He's one-time Secret Service, never in the FBI, and he was a right-wing podcaster who's told people he wants to go back to being a podcaster. Well, he's going to get his wish based on this leak, which I believe was orchestrated by Donald Trump. Now, Kash Patel, it's been famously reported already, notoriously reported already, that he does not get along with Pam Bondi or Todd Blanche. And in that civil war between the Department of Justice and FBI, especially that burst out in the open during the Epstein scandal and cover-up, the winners are going to be Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, at least Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche is very well respected as the number two person in the Department of Justice, Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, even more so than Pam Bondi. If you're looking to see who replaces Pam Bondi one day, it'll likely be Todd Blanche. And they do not like or trust FBI Director Patel. Before I found Noble, I never thought about how easy it is to break into regular luggage. Most bags can literally be popped open with a ballpoint pen and zipped back up like nothing ever happened. and we leave them everywhere with hotel staff, airline crews, overhead bins, one poke, and your laptop, meds, passport, gone. But once I switched to the Noble all-in-one carry-on, I became obsessed. It's totally zipperless. It locks shut with a latch like a safe. You feel that solid click, and suddenly you're traveling without that low-level panic. They also fixed all the annoying travel stuff. A built-in charger so you're not crouched by an outlet. A front laptop pocket that makes TSA painless. Super smooth 360-degree wheels and the clutch flip-out cup holder so you can actually juggle your coffee and boarding pass like a human. No wonder over 500,000 people, 12,000 pilots and flight attendants, and even TSA agents swear by it. Plus a 100-day money-back guarantee, free 3-day shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Noble gives you real travel peace of mind, security, design, and convenience all in one. For a limited time, Noble is having the biggest sale ever. Head to nobletravel.com for up to 58% off your entire order. That's NOBL travel.com for up to 50% off after you purchase. They'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. Now you've got this report, which I put up on Legal AF Substack for you to read as well. Here's what it says in the report, handed spoon-fed to Miranda Devine. It says, it throws one bone to Trump. It says Trump derangement syndrome is still alive and well in the FBI. The resistance is still alive and well. But then it talks about the morale within the FBI. It says the morale was ranging from low to bad to terrible, much lower than when James Comey or Christopher Wray ran the organization. These are all by insiders and outsiders, anonymous insiders and outsiders. It says that there are people who have a countdown app on his personal phone, counting down the time until he's eligible for early retirement. That there is a culture of fear and paralysis created by Patel. That the FBI leadership at all levels is paralyzed, meaning FBI managers are waiting for the FBI director to tell them specifically what to do. And they're on pins and needles as a result. They then critique his lack of experience. Remember, there were 60 civil rights organizations that came out against Kash Patel when he was nominated before his confirmation. Here's what the insiders say, that he's in over his head, that he lacks the requisite knowledge or deep understanding of all of the FBI's unique and complex investigative and intelligence programs, that he's not very good, that he's not secure, he doesn't have the measured self-confidence or requisite experience to be an FBI director. And Dan Bongino is the same, that he was a mistake. He does not lack the FBI career experience that's necessary to be the number 2 in the job. Then they said there's an obsession with social media. Of course, when you appoint 2 right-wing podcasters to be the head of the FBI, what else are you going to get? One person said, stop talking, stop posting, and just be professional. Another commented that leaders of the FBI field offices up to the director are spending too much time on social media and public relations and concerned with building their own resumes. And then there's other aspects of this as well. Now, how did we get here? We know, for instance, that Dan Bongino already has his replacement working with him. Because remember the name Andrew Bailey, the Attorney General from Missouri, who worked with Pam Bondi when she was Attorney General of Florida. He came in about 3 months ago to be the co-deputy director of the FBI. Look, the writing's on the wall. Kash Patel is going to get fired. Dan Bongino is going to get fired. Andrew Bailey is going to be elevated as somebody that's friendly and supportive and in the inner circle for Pam Bondi, so she likes him. The DOJ runs the FBI under our system of organization, and they're going to go with Andrew Bailey. And this cover story, this fig leaf that Donald Trump and the people around him manufactured is just to get rid of Kash Patel. That's why they dropped it in the lap of Miranda Devine, the way that Donald Trump used to drop gossip in the lap of Cindy Adams of the New York Post. It's the same effing thing. Now, if you want to remember Kash Patel and why Cory Booker the senator from New Jersey, said, I don't think I'm ever going to see you here again. Watch these exchanges between Cory Booker and Kash Patel, just to remind you of the last time he appeared before the oversight committees, the judiciary committees. Let's roll the clips.
I don't think you're fit to hand the Bureau, but here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose.
That rant of false information does not bring this country together. If you want to work on bringing this country, it's my time, not yours.
My God.
If you want to talk about, it's my time.
I follow you on your social media posts that tear this country apart.
To address your falsehoods.
Oh, you can try all you want
in this country.
to not take responsibility for what you have said. Sir, you're making a mockery of this committee. Sir, you don't tell me my time is over. The people of New Jersey tell me what my time is. You can't lecture me.
You can tell me my time's over.
You may be the charge of the FBI,
I'm not going anywhere.
but I am not afraid of you.
Mr. Chairman.
Not afraid of you.
So you have Jeffrey Epstein's black book?
What is known as Jeffrey Epstein's black book has been released by us.
And you released it?
Right after she gives this testimony in front of an FBI agent, among others, she's transferred to a minimum security prison not suitable for a sex offender like herself. Who made that decision and why?
The Bureau of Prisons.
The Bureau of Prisons decided on their own, without any consultation with Blanche or anyone else, that they were going to suddenly, after this interview, completely unrelated to this interview, completely unrelated to anything she said, move her to a prison not suitable for a sex offender. You want the American people to believe that? Do you think they're stupid?
No. I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements of
you're
inmates.
Not in the weeds.
What I am doing is protecting this country, providing historic reform, and combating the weaponization of intelligence by the likes of you. And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
Right. You think Donald Trump's going to put that guy back out in December in front of those committees with this report that Donald Trump and his people probably leaked? And the telltale sign, where is the support from anyone within the Trump administration to say he's doing a great job? Where is that support? Where's Stephen Miller, who's the co-president of the United States? Where is he patting Kash Patel on the back, or Pam Bondi, or Todd Blanche? They're nowhere to be found. Kash Patel's days are numbered. For me, it's not if, but when he's going to be fired. I think he won't make it to Christmas. And keep an eye on the Andrew Bailey being elevated from deputy director, co-deputy director to the #1 spot, because it'll make Pam Bondi feel more comfortable to have a former Missouri attorney general in that position. Not that he has any experience. And then look for him to appoint somebody that makes the FBI feel better, like a longtime special agent or somebody in operations who has the legacy knowledge about the FBI to help Bailey run it. I think that's going to happen. And as soon as I saw that it was Miranda Devine, right? Podforce One, or whatever the name of her podcast is, the podcast of choice for the Trump administration, that got the leak, I was like, the fix is in. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button here on the MeidasTouch Network, and help us over on Legal AF YouTube as well. We're trying to push to get to 1 million before the December holidays. With your help, we will. Till my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.